couldn't make it today. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to dive in. Before we really get going though, do you guys have any questions about why you'd want an agent magazine? What you think you can do with it? Any questions before we get going?
The best way to send this out, just by a campaign or or just as an email link?
So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do it, because you can just print it, right? Or you could have it printed somewhere on fancy paper. You can send it out as a link. You can send it out as a hyperlink to a picture. You could just put it in your email signature. You could text it to someone, right? You're going to be able to send it out any way that you want.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Can you download it as content into an email as compared to a link?
Well, you could download individual pages. You could make it a PDF.
Got
All right,
it.
so I'm going to go ahead and get you guys going. So in Command, I'm going to come down to the designs icon. So it's the third from the bottom. It looks like a square and a paintbrush. And I always like to point out that what you see here on the screen are things I've already created. And that these buttons up at the top, all they do is sort what you've already created. Right, so if I click on email, these are emails that I've done. If I click on print, these are things that I've done. The only thing I haven't put back in is the all. If I wanted to go back to see everything, I'd have to click back on the designs icon. All right, so first what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to quickly show you the finished product before I go into how to create it from scratch, because you can always go back into it at any time. Right, and this, I just want you to see how this ends up looking. These are the pages that I chose, and there are 16 of them, right? And you can see when it loads, right? You can tailor this to anything that you want. You know, I put my logo and the KW logo. I did this for Boxford. You know, anything that you want to do, you can put in here. The only thing is that certain pages that are created by the company, like I can't edit this. You see how it turns red? Because that's content that they've created. I could choose not to use those pages, but I can't, you know, I can't go in and actually edit them. So we're going to go in. I'm actually going to show you how to create it, but I also, just to kind of answer Shell's question really quickly. I just took a standard off-the-shelf email template from Keller Williams, and I put in here winter newsletter, and this would say, hi, Susan, Brian, John, Shell, Frank, you know, the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed the first edition of my 2021 newsletter. The market's crazy right now in our area. If you have any thoughts of buying or selling, give me a call, blah, blah, blah. I put a screenshot of the picture, which I have hyperlinked to the address that you're going to get at the end. So if they click on that in the email, it will open up that viewer. And I also put a button. Now, if I want to see how this looks, as long as you have your marketing profile complete, it will put your logo in at the top and all your information in at the bottom and the link to your app and everything. All right, so that's just kind of going over what we're going to do today. And my hope is, first of all, that all of you have Command open right now. Here's the screen. Dun, 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 gotta get Command.
Does
Everybody have it open?
not yet. No.
Okay.
How do I minimize this? I don't know.
I
That's
do.
why I have two devices.
I only have one.
Finally learned.
John, are you in your office or are you home?
No, I'm home.
I was gonna say, just come down. I have the whole room to
I get
myself.
confused at this stage with other things. So exit full screen, is that what I do?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, got it. Oh, I can go into Command View in a different tab.
I like that name.
All right, I'm there. Oh,
How do you do the
I have
split
caught
screen
up to the
again?
rest of you folks.
All right.
Sarah, how do you do the split screen again?
So on your Mac, if you hold down on the green button, like if I hold down on here, see how it gives me, I can tile left or right,
Yep.
and then you would just click the other window.
Any suggestions for how to do that on a Chromebook?
No clue, honestly.
Okay,
It's
'Cause I have to
basically
keep closing
Windows
this
using Google
down.
Chrome. How do you do it using Google Chrome?
I don't
use-
know. I only know how to do it on a Mac. I don't know how to do it on a PC-based one.
so just to let you know, I have to keep closing this screen to see the other one. So I won't be able to see what you're doing at the same time that I'm trying to do it.
You
Do
know, you
Zoom
can
on your
shrink-
phone.
You can shrink those boxes and
Yeah,
Put
just
the button on.
minimize the screen, just minimize the windows. So if I come to the corner, I'm in the bottom right corner of mine, I'm assuming that you see that the window's changing size.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You could just do that. Don't let me.
Right,
don't
my
make me
Zoom is
keep you
only
awake
letting
here.
me either minimize it to nothing or expand it to full.
Can't you open it in a new window?
It's on an app. In Chromebook, it's running off of the app, not a browser.
I would probably run it off of the browser.
Yep. Or run it on your phone and play on your computer.
I'm up to speed.
Okay,
Oh,
everybody else good?
Mhm.
Go.
Okay, Lori, I know you're just joining. I just asked if everybody can get themselves up on command as well, so you can see my screen and command at the same, and you're gonna. ask-
I am there. Thank you.
Okay, so I want you guys to come in,
Thank
we're in designs, so make sure you're in the designs applet. And we're gonna come over because we want to create a design. We're gonna click on the teal circle with the plus sign. And you should get the pop-up window with our 5 choices. And right now we're gonna click print. And we're gonna hit next. Now, even though we can share it digitally, a magazine is traditionally printed. So think of it under there.
You hit the plus sign, is that what you did after you hit print?
You hit next. You hit print and then next.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't
I
see
was
what it
writing
says
something-
next.
I was writing something down. How do I get to this?
Okay, click on the circle with the plus sign. We're gonna click on print and then we're gonna click next.
Where's next?
From
I
my
hit the-
design templates?
You're gonna stay right on templates. Once you click the button that says print, you should see the next at the bottom.
Sarah's face might be on it. It's on it for mine.
Well, you could
I
move
don't
my
have a
face.
next, but all right.
Move the face box. That's where mine was.
I have a plus sign. Oh, wait a minute. I don't
I'm
frickin'.
gonna do it one more time. So I'm gonna click on the plus sign. It's down here at the bottom on the right. I'm gonna click print and then I have this next button down here. Because if
Oh,
I
I got it. I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
there.
this is so much better when you guys are here and I can just walk around.
No, I want to get in my truck and drive over there right now.
Get over here. All right. So again, just as a reminder, everything on the left here is like a category, right? What goes across the top in each category are sizes. We're going to go under lead generation. And if I look at these, the bottom one, it's cut off, but it's personally branded. I can't say it. I just have to say magazine because it just irks me. All right. Personally branded magazine. When you click on that, you will see the little icon here for our first one. You're going to click on the red use button. As soon as you hover over that image for the magazine, you see use. Everybody see use?
Yeah,
Got it.
Awesome. Frank, you see use? You're very quiet today. All right. I'm going to click the use button. Mindy, I haven't shown anything yet. We just clicked on the teal plus sign, the circle with the plus sign, and we clicked on print. And then we clicked next. And then we just went under lead generation to personally branded magazine. And we hit the use button. Now, this is set up the same way that the listing presentation and buyer presentation are set up. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of that, on the left-hand side, you have the additional thing that's called templates. Right? What you're gonna see here is my thing right now, my magazine is currently a blank page on the right, this big blank page where hopefully you can see my cursor kind of making little circles around it. All these things on the left, if I scroll down, these are templates. They're always going to be there, even when I create my own. All of these template pages will be here. Now, you have to make the decision, do you want to send this out quarterly, which is how Keller Williams has it structured right now? Or do you want to break it up and maybe you're going to send out, you know, obviously the cover and your letter, and maybe you do like the month in review, but maybe this time you're going to do real estate resolutions. And then next month, maybe you're going to do the projects to tackle, whatever it is, you can create your own pages. But if I want to start with one, I need to click the plus sign at the top. So I'm going to go to the cover page that says New Beginnings, and I'm going to click on the plus sign. And when I do, you can watch it come in. And if I look at the bottom here, it's telling me I have 2 pages. And if I go back to page 1, it's going to be that blank page. I find this irksome, I'm not going to lie. To get rid of the blank page, see this word pages right here at the bottom? It's got a little caret arrow pointing up. If I click on that, it shows me the thumbnails that I have. So I can see that the first page is blank and the second page is that cover.
Mhm.
What I can, Lori, do you have a question?
Nope, I said, mm-hmm.
I know it flicked over to you and I was like, what? What's your question? So if I click on the little arrow that's on that thumbnail, you can see I have a plus sign, which would add another blank page. I could copy it or I could trash it. So I'm going to trash it. Right, so now I can see I only have 1 page. Again, I can hit a plus sign here and add a blank page and so on. I'm going to hide that. Now I'm going to go down. Do I want to have a note from Sarah Herta? Sure. I'm going to come over here to the template and I'm going to click on that plus sign. Right now, again, I'm up to 2 pages and I have this template. Then I'm going to come down the next one. Do I want the year in review, which I could always change to month in review? Yes. So when I add that, I now have 3 pages. Now, if I just click on it, it doesn't add it. So I have to actually click here on the plus sign. So I can go through and I can build out all the different pages that I want. So in my example, what I created before, I just added every single page.
Sarah, I'm having trouble scrolling down. I'm in the templates, but I can't go to the next template. What am I doing wrong?
Well, what you could do is, do you have a mouse or are you using a trackpad?
Track.
Okay, take 2 fingers
Yeah.
and try to move them at the same time. So on my computer.
Oh,
I'll
all right,
scroll
that
bottom-
worked.
Yeah.
That worked.
Perfect. So what I'm actually going to do now is switch over to the one that I already created because I want to show you, we're still going to edit it, but I want to show you, give you some ideas. Okay, so it's the same thing. If I look at the bottom here, right under pages, you could see I have 16 pages. Again, I can scroll through to see them all. And I'm just going to show you what I did here. On the first page, all I did was add the Keller Williams logo and my personal logo. Now, let's just say that I don't, for some reason, like this pretty kitchen with the people here. Again, just like anything else in designs, I could click on images. If I have my own image somewhere else, I can add it by clicking add. If I go to company, and this is all under images, so if you just look over here under images and I click on company, I have multiple folders where they're providing me royalty-free, copyright-free images that I can use. Do I love all of them? No, but there's a lot that are pretty decent. So if I click on house interiors and I say, I mean, I actually kind of like the kitchen, but we'll just pretend I want something different. So I'm going to come in and I have 2 choices. I can choose this picture by clicking on it. And when I come over here, you see I have the circular 2 little arrows that make a circle, and that's to replace the image. I can click there. You can see now I have a different look. Alternatively, I could click and drag. So if I click on this photo and I drag it over, it's going to change that picture that way as well. Right? Now, let's just say whichever way I get the image I like in it, what if I don't want it to be that size? Again, I can double click on it. When I double click on it, everything else fades away a little bit. And I can use these round handles to make the image bigger. It will only let it go as small as that crop box. But let's say I make it bigger, and then I'm going to move it so that it's somewhat centered. And then when I hit done, you can see, you know, I've moved that image. So it's still, to me, a little bit to the left. Maybe I want to get rid of that right there. I mean, really, it depends on how nitpicky you want to be. There you go. Now you have a totally different look. You still can change things. What if you don't want it to say new beginnings? What if you want it to say something else? Or if you want to change the color, you can go in and modify anything that you want on this page. So if I zoom in, it says volume 1, winter 2021. If you're going to do this monthly and you're going to change up or create your own content or split this into sections, you might not want it to say winter. You might want it to say February. At the bottom, it's giving you what things they're, you know, what the articles are about. If you're not going to have them all in there, you might want to change that. Now under logos, depending on what you have, both in your marketing profile and in your asset library, you're going to have different logos. You can either just click on one and you'll see it adds it right in the middle. And then you can make it as big or small as you want, move it to whatever place you want. So let's just say I didn't want it up at the top. I want to have it in the middle here. Or maybe I'm going to put it like that. I want it to look like it's some sort of a sign. Come on, go with me here. I can also change the opacity of it if I don't want it to be as obvious. That's going to make it more or less transparent. And that's what that little half moon box is right here. So, I mean, play with it.
Sarah, question. So you said, so are these going to come out quarterly?
Yes.
Okay.
They're going to be
And
quarterly,
you
and
said we could split it if we wanted to do.
so what I would recommend is if you print the whole thing out so you see what the pages are, and then you decide which template pages you want to add, or you can always come in under pages and just click to delete the pages you decide you don't want. These template pages will always be here, so you can always add them back in. So
Sarah, once you finish this and you're happy with it, can you just replicate it if you want to do different versions with slightly different info?
I can show you that too.
Like
So
you
when
might
you
do
go
different
in-
towns sent to different people, different, just the market page or something.
Absolutely. And then, so the next page that I added in from the template is the letter, right? That was page 2. So obviously I changed it to be me and not whoever that other person was. So to change all the information, first of all, again, I just clicked on logos and I added my logos, and then I double clicked on the name, and I find it easier to do either control on a PC or command on a Mac, A for select all, and then I typed in whatever you want. Or in this case, at Sarah Herta, right? I put my picture over. So again, under images, I go under my assets, and you should have whatever you have in your marketing profile in there. And so you could just click and drag. Now, again, because this isn't a square picture and it's a square frame, I'd have to move my head around or my picture around so that my head's not cut off.
Can you pick a rectangle? Because like
Yeah.
John Moran, you don't fit in a square.
Well, here's the thing. So if I had, as soon as I click on an image, I get multiple handles.
Yeah.
So the corner ones make it bigger or smaller, and the top and bottom and sides make it, it's either cropping it or elongating it. So if I made it wider, I can't because this picture only goes to the width, but I could then make it so that it would fit better. And then I'll just, or I could come back and say undo at the top. Very nice undo button up here. There we go. Now still my head's cut off, so I probably want to go in and just move it. But that's nitpicky, right? Then I have at the bottom, right? The only thing I did at the bottom, I thought that the text that they gave us sounded pretty decent. So I took out where it says I/we. Oh, I forgot this one. So I'm going to change this to be my, because I don't want it to say my/our. I can't read that, it's too small. Right, oops. My favorite local business, right? And then I put my information at the bottom and it looks like my bold got off. So let's just go in and make it all bold. Right, again, I could change the color, I could change the font, I can change what it says. I think it was left justified and I made it so that it was, you know, full justification. That's totally, those things are all up to you. Then I went to the next page. And it's the market in review. And I just changed it to say 2020 year in review. And I decided because teaching and coaching, I haven't sold real estate this year. So I just did it as what's happened in Boxford. Right, so even if you haven't had a sale yet and you want to do this, you don't have to look at it like, well, I can't do this page because I haven't sold any houses. Well, it doesn't say number of houses Sarah sold. I mean, if I really looked at it, you know, I'd have great numbers for 2019. But I could put it here, right? Boxford, I put 2020 Boxford market snapshot. I looked up how many houses, I just did an MLS report. What sold last year versus this year, or 2 years ago versus last year, right? So I'm saying 2020.
Crazy.
Yes.
I think there was up, but not that up. That's like 80,000.
Well, you'll see in a couple slides what that average sale price is doing here. So then now it looks like this got a little bit messed up. Why do I say that? Because I'm trying to keep that on one line and it is showing as 2 lines. What I mean by that is text is always in a text box. So you can see if I move this to the left, it just keeps jumbling it up. So I just need to make it the text box longer and then my whole line fits there for January. I look at January, just January, I can see 12 homes were sold in 2019, but only 6 in 2020. So what does that tell you? That's a great topic of conversation. There's no homes on the market, your home's going to sell fast. And then for January alone, 2019 versus January 2020, again, that's all just from MLS, and I stuck the logos on. How did I do that? I went to logos. I clicked and dragged it out. I made it the size that I wanted, and I moved it to where I wanted it to be.
That's not a 2021.
I didn't fix the header. I have to fix this to be 20 and 21. Listen, lady. I was trying to get something done. All right. So then what's the next page? Okay. The next page seems to be getting a little bit weird. And my problem is I can't modify it. Right. And I'm not exactly sure what's happening. Maybe it's just that my screen isn't wide enough, but the real estate resolutions is getting cut off. And I can't modify anything on this other than I could add the logos in. I put logos in it if I wanted to, just to show you that you can. So I've got to look into this because this was fine yesterday. So it might just be my browser. So look at that page. But all of this content, I can't change. And I know that because when I click on it, I get a red box. And the reason we can't change it is because this is content that was written by someone else. And the only thing that we can do is delete it. Well, that's what I don't get. Right.
If
I
you
could
delete it,
and add my
if
own.
you delete it, can you put something else in that spot?
Yep, that's what I would do, is just delete it and add my own in. All right, then we've got the next page. Again, this is all content created for us. So this is, again, same type of thing. We'll just delete an ad. Or just delete. Okay, so then is the featured property section. Instead, I made it a coming soon, because why not? That's my house. Did you see the average price of what's happening in Boxford? So yeah, coming soon. I'm gonna have a contest. You guys can all run ads on it in Facebook. Who's gonna bring the buyer? By the way, a house down the street for me just went on and I called up the realtor. It's a Cape at 759.9. It sold in 2017. If you want more info, you can just have it. I'll give you the whole thing. Anyway, so you've got that. What did I do? Why did I do this? Because I wanted to show you that you can change stuff around, right? Just because it says featured listing, I didn't have a featured listing. So I changed the font size. I was like, what else can I do? I'm just going to play around. All right, projects to tackle. Again, we can't really edit too much of this because someone else has created it, but it's good content. And on this page, I think I added the logos as well. Why not? Right, and I think I made the Keep Your Home Happy in 2021, I made it purple. So again, you can delete it, but you can't change it. Look good for me, decent enough content. Okay, then it got to the real value, real experience page. So I changed a lot of things on here, right? I changed the font because for me, visually, I'm weird. I like everything to kind of look like it goes together. I took out some of the different credential sections and just added in my own. Bless you. I added in, my own numbers for years in business, total clients served, et cetera, et cetera. I added in the logo. I made the win-win integrity, the whole WI4C2TES. I made it all red on those just so visually it was different. Why am I telling you this? Because if you don't like the way something looks, change it.
There already.
Yep. I just made that red and I made it right justified instead of left because I thought it looked weird. So I said, because it was,
Looks like it's going up there.
yeah. Because the way that it was originally, I want to say was like that. And I was like, it doesn't look like it's together. So, I mean, that's just me. I'm weird like that. So I just changed the justification. All right. So then I go to the next page. Now, by the way, I didn't change any of the content in the middle. So if you want to, I mean, number one, read it. Shocking. Make sure you like it. When you choose to work with me, you're partnering with a trained agent that has the backing of the world's largest real estate company, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure you like what it says, or if you want to change it or add it. If you're on a team, you probably want to add information about how awesome your team is. Okay. Next page. Success stories. So these are actual testimonials that I have from clients, right? Now, if you think of this as a quarterly thing, then every single quarter or whenever you do the magazine, add in 2 different people. I mean, I looked at it like this. Stephen and Tara, they were clients of mine multiple times over when I was in New Jersey. So 2010, whatever, fine. I don't care if it says it's in New Jersey. They were still working with me. So then I've got Carrie. I sold her a place and then I sold her place, right? And the only thing I'm noticing is I think I just shifted over my little quotation mark. So I'm just going to move that over. Deet, deet, deet. All right.
That template was already there.
Yep, I just moved stuff around to give more space because apparently my people wrote longer testimonials. So the font I had to make a little bit smaller and move it around the page. Right. And honestly, I went to Facebook and got their pictures because we're friends on Facebook. So I just went in and grabbed it. Okay, next page. Say goodbye to the winter blues. Okay, well, that's all content created for me. I can't change it. I could just decide if I want to use it or not. Or again, if I want to split up content, maybe I keep this one in and put the projects next month or something. Now, the hottest winter listings page, you can see I added in logos. Do you people recognize some of these? These are all office listings that just came on. They're all considered new this week. You did? right? So I just went in, these are hottest winter listings. This does not say Sarah Hurtis listings, right? And I didn't change that. There's definitely something going on with, I think it might be projecting on the screen because all of the things are off and they weren't like that before. It's just weird. I moved around things on the bottom and I also made a QR code. What does the QR code go to? It goes to the featured listings page on my website. So does anyone want to see how to make a QR code? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so you're gonna pick a page. So for right now, I am just going to go to my website. And I happen to shockingly put these properties on the featured part of my page. So if this is the page that I want, and again, this could be any page on your website, it could be any URL from anything. It could be a Google document you have shared as public on Google, because it would make no sense to share something that people can't look at. All you need is the URL. So I'm going to come in here. What? All right, I'm going to highlight the URL. So I'm just coming right up here, copying. So highlight it, copy it. Then I personally, I'm going to say I like to be frugal. So I'm going to say free QR code generator. And I personally like the one that's called the QR code generator. So you can see, I just constantly scroll down till I get this. And originally, or what comes up first is free text. I'm going to click here on URL and I'm going to paste in that URL. Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but this little code changed right here. So just to be weird, I'm just going to quickly come in and I'm going to say Boxford, blah, 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 whatever else. I just want to get a different URL because I'm going to copy that. And when I paste it in, I want you to watch the square, the QR code. See how it's totally different? So whatever URL you put in there is going to change what this QR code looks like. You can hit the save button and it's going to ask you if you want a PNG, an SVG, or an EPS. Now, if you're someone who uses Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, you might want the EPS file, but probably not, who cares? An SVG file is probably not something you care about either, because that's another like graphics vector file. If you are going to put something on the internet or on a piece of print material, you want the PNG file. So you can come in here and you could type in, I think I call this Boxford search. And you can hit save. And now you can see it saved it to my computer. It's right down here at the bottom left of Chrome. It says boxfordsearch.png. The other thing I could do if I didn't want to do that, I like to zoom in so that I get a better view of it. And you could do a screen capture. So on a Mac, it's Command-Shift-4, and then I can draw the little square around what I want. On a PC, you would probably use something like Snippet or Snagit, or there's a multitude of different screen captures. It's going to put it on my desktop. So I now have that icon on the desktop as well. So I've got it in my downloads folder where I just saved it, or I've got it on my desktop. So when I come back into my design, and I am going to go back to images and see right here, I have add on the left side. So I'm going to click on add, and I can now say, I can either drag and drop, or I can click on this icon here with the little black computer with an arrow. And you could see I've got several that I was looking at yesterday. I can go to my downloads folder. This is the one I downloaded. It's called Boxford Search. If I go to desktop, you could see the one I just did a screenshot of. So I could pick either one of them. But as soon as I say open, you see it starts to pop up here on my screen. And I could click on it. It'll be gigantic. And then I'm just going to shrink it down. I'm just going to grab that corner handle and shrink it to be what I want it to be. And then move it around on my page. So what is this going to do? So now I have 2 QR codes on here. I'm going to zoom in on just one of them because I don't want it to get confused. And I'm going to show you with my phone what happens when someone has a QR code. Now, all we need to do on the iPhones now is you just click on the camera. And so let's do this.
Okay, I got Sarah heard or I did it. Yay.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
So if I click on my camera and I go into this, I just have to make sure I'm zoomed. It's asking me at the top, do I want to go into there in Safari? And I could say yes. And here it is right here. Right? The QR code opened up just like I wanted it. You don't even take a picture. Just hold it up and zoom into that and it'll pop up at the top of the screen. And then if you're like, well, I don't really need 2 on here, I can just select it and delete it. And I have to delete the placeholder behind it. So whatever you're creating, you can think of alternative uses. So let's say, for instance, you know, this is something you were going to give out at an open house. Maybe it's a flyer and you want to have it available digitally to people, or you want them to be able to sign in and you have a sign-in page. You could create that QR code that's going to go to that place, post it on the front door and be done.
A good idea is in your listings, instead of having paper listing packets, you can have a sheet of paper with a QR code link to either a dedicated website you might have for the listing or even the MLS sheet or whatever.
I love that because honestly, the MLS sheet with the flyer on the back that has my info is the only thing I print. I'm so tired of paper. I think I'm just getting crotchety and old. I don't want to have to print anything and I don't want extras, and I feel bad that I've had all this printing. So anyway, the next page is the Ask the Agent. So my thing is this: put yourself in there, or if you're on a team, highlight a different team member each month. And think of, I mean, I just used what the default question was, but to me, when your buyers and sellers start asking you questions, write them down. What do you hear the most often? What is like, wow, that's a really good question, I should highlight. So I just wrote an answer. There's several things you can do with little effort and a low budget, from a fresh coat of light colored paint in a room that doesn't see a lot of sun to new caulk around the sink, tub fixtures in the bathroom, blah, 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 right? Just write
Really?
something. And no, you can't
Not a
quote
call.
on the blah, blah, blah. And then the final page, if you choose to use all 16 pages, shows the app. Now, what did I do? I put over, I'm just going to show you, I put screenshots that I took from my cell phone over the default because I didn't want it to say somebody else. Right? So how did I do that? Well, I actually went to the app on my cell phone and I pulled up a listing. So I'm just going to say current location because I just want to pull up something. Okay, so in my app, I pull up the listing. And again, I apologize. I've had an iPhone since the first one. I don't know Android, but on an iPhone, I need to click the side button on the top, the volume on the top, and the side button. And when I do that, at the same time, it takes a picture. You can see the picture right down here. It's going to my camera roll. And then I went to, I clicked the wrong thing, hold on. When I'm in the app, I clicked on the More button right over here. And when I click on the More button, see how it has my profile at the top. So I clicked View Profile and I took a screenshot of my profile. Same thing. On mine, it's the volume up button and the side button. And I clicked both and you see it makes a picture on the side. So then I sent those pictures to my computer and I came back over to images and I clicked on add, and you can see that I added them in. Here's the one and here's the other. So when I put those on my computer, when I put them into command, I just clicked on one. So now you can see it's on here again. And then I clicked on the other one. Well, here's what I want to show you. When I click on an image, so if I click on anything really, but I want you to watch this area right here at the bottom under the word refer. I clicked on it twice. Let me just, there. When I only see those arrows or those corner things, it's not letting me crop. But when I see the things top and bottom, left and right that are like squished circles or ellipses, right? I can actually crop it down. So I said, well, I want it to look like it's just my phone number. And right, so I actually put it over what was here. And I go, oh, well, it's got to fit in those little lines. So it looks like it did, right? And that's how I got that shape. So you can see it's right here. I can delete one, I don't need it twice. And I did the same with the screenshot that I did of the house. I just came up and said, all right, well, I want to see that little black line. And so I'm going to shrink it. I'm just using that circle corner handle, which will shrink or enlarge. And I want it to fit in there. And then let's see, how does it look, right? And this is all I did. And then I said, okay, well, I need to crop the bottom because I don't need all that. I wanted to have the schedule of the tour thing. So,
The tour is a live button.
no. Now, so here's the thing. I was on a lab, so I'm a labs advisor. I work with Keller Williams to go through this. And a couple weeks ago, we demoed this. And I said, so what you're saying is that when this is published digitally, if I click on this button, it will actually go to where I want it to go. And they looked at me and they went, oh, that's a really good idea. And I'm like, yes, it is. So this edition, it's not.
But can you put your own hyperlink in?
Yes and no. So for instance, this is an actual link. I made a subdomain on my website. So if someone goes to app, it goes to my KW app, to that splash page. But when I share this, it's not clickable. It will be. This is version 1, right? Now, you could go through, and my recommendation is spend an hour, go through, decide which pages you want, and play with it. Tell me what questions you have when you go, all right, you did this whole fancy thing where you took screenshots on your phone and blah, and I don't know what you did. Good, let me know. Let me know you got that far. I would love to help you. But I'm going to show you the next step now. Number one important thing is to name it. I called mine because I'm so creative, Sarah's Magazine. Okay,
Do we have to use that for us?
no,
Oh, thank you.
you could call it John's Magazine. Lori and Jen can't use it. Okay, so you've got share and download and done. My recommendation first is to always hit done and hit save. Do that first, even though it's going to bring you back to the beginning, because I live in fear, especially after last week, that things are going to be wonky and it's going to disappear on me.
Wait, what'd you say? Do what?
Hit done, so you
Done.
save it,
Oh,
and then go back into it. Like something wonky is definitely happening because there's all sorts of weirdness, but I'm just going to go with it. Now, download. If I hit download, I don't want a PNG or a JPEG unless I want to make this in an email. If I hit download and do a JPEG or a PNG, I will have just the first page. Those are image files. It's not going to do every page. You'd have to do them separately. But if I do a PNG, it will give me, if I wait a second, this is the hardest part for me. I have to wait till I see it come in by support over here in my Chrome window. It will give me the screenshot of the front, which I can then add in, whether it's in an email template or anyway. So now I can see Sarah's Magazine.png is now in my downloads folder. If I was going to print this, I would do get PDF and I would say high resolution print quality PDF, and I would hit download and I will get a download of the whole, or a PDF of the whole thing. And whether I want to print it on my home printer or at the office or get them done on fancy paper somewhere. That's up to me. But let's say I want to share this digitally. There's a share button. And when I click on it, I can share the design or the project. I want to share the project. So I could instantly share it with any of what you've already put into your settings. If you have a Facebook business page, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or I could just copy and highlight this. And when I do that, I get that digital view. So if I come in, I have left and right arrows and I can go through page by page, the whole thing. Okay. Now I can share this anywhere I want. So I could go to Facebook and say, check out my new thing. And maybe I do put that screenshot, right? The PNG, I need an image. So I could do that, but let's just see what happens. So I'm going to go to Facebook. And if I just paste in, and by the way, I don't know what people have posted. Oh, Suzette posted something. I better not scroll down. All right, I'm going to click to make a post, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste in that link. Right, so it's got that even with my weird, the B is red and whatever, I don't care, it's fine. And it's going to say viewer.webrand.com, Sarah's Magazine. I still can instead come in and say, I want that PNG that I put in, and it'll just look a little bit different than I have that full thing. Now, because I have some things in there that are not correct, I'm not going to post it, but I just want you to see that I could. So there's that. Another thing I could do is I could come in to my Gmail, and again, I'm going to open up my Gmail. I have no idea what emails I have in here, so. All right, I'm going to come right up to the top, and I am going to say, see all settings. When I scroll down here, it comes to your email signature. I'm going to click on the email signature that I currently use, and maybe at the bottom, I want to add in something like, check out my winter 2021 magazine. And then I could highlight it, and I could click here on this little, it looks like a chain link, and I am going to paste that link. I can also hit test the link, it'll open it up, and I could say, okay. So now that's a hyperlink that's in there. Alternatively, I could come down under everything, maybe, and I could add the picture. So I could come in here. Now I've got to say, upload, and I've got to go find my image. Here it is. And it's going to be huge. Or not. Yeah, it's gigundous. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to say small. So I could also put that under it. And again, once I have that, I can add a hyperlink to it. So I just highlighted it. I'm going to click on the link, and I'm going to click on or paste in that link that we had. And then most importantly, I need to come down here and hit save. And then that would be added to my email signature if I wanted it. I'm not quite ready yet for that because I have to go in and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Jen,
Very
showed
nice.
me things I did wrong. Okay, so that's another thing that I can do with it. And yet again, a third thing I can do with it. I'm going to get out of this part of designs. And like I showed you at the beginning, I'm going to create an email template. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign. Anytime I'm going to create something in designs, I need to click on that plus sign. And in this case, I'm going to choose email. And then I hit next. Now what shows up here? These are things that Keller Williams has provided to us. So there's 72 different templates, and unfortunately, we don't see thumbnails. So you'd have to just say, what do you want? I can't stop myself from looking at the ones that are called approachable because I think it's funny, Like, is there an unapproachable? I'm sorry, I'd like an unapproachable open house, please. So that's what I showed you at the beginning, is when I created, I think I just chose approachable newsletter A. So let's try approachable newsletter B, because why not? Alternatively, you could create your own from scratch. But if I go in here and I just clicked on approachable B, and I'm going to say next, it opens up for me one that's already created. Now, anytime you have something like Market Center name, that's the picture, it will come in when I preview it, and when it's sent, you can see the logo comes in, but it does not for some reason in this preview section. So when you see the broken link, don't freak out, because that's just what it does. Now, when I see this big gray box, you can click on it, and if you have better eyesight than me, you can zoom in and click on this little pen or pencil icon, or just double click on it. And you would want to replace the image. You can see here, so again, if I double click on it, it opens up the settings for what this image is. I'm going to hit replace. Now, again, it's going to show things that I have done. Don't mind Arnold. And I'm going to say add image, browse files. And again, I'm going to find that PNG file that I had downloaded. Which
What
is
did you hit? Edit?
replace picture.
Where is that?
When I double click
Sorry.
on it, it's right here underneath replace.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
Okay.
I believe that I already added this in yesterday. Here. So I'm going to click on that and hit replace. And now you're going to see, once I hit done, it will change there. I would change the alternative text. Again, if someone has their email set up that they don't download pictures right away, you want them to see what it is. So I'm going to say 2021 newsletter. Now see this link to? In this case, it's not a landing page. I would say a web address, and I am going to paste in that code to go to the digital magazine. Now, I can see that this has a 60 pixel border radius. Okay, that means it's not square edges. That would be my interpretation. It's not square edges. There's a 60 pixel radius here. It's centered. It's not left or right. It's centered. And the width is 460. The height is 329. I don't think in pixels. It's not a square. It is a wide rectangle. Okay, well, I know it's not going to look right, but I'm going to just hit done so you see what happens. Not looking right. So I'm going to double click on it again, and I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to just switch it. What if I tried, I mean, again, I don't think in pixels. And I don't even remember what the number is. So let's just try it. Well, that's starting to look a little bit better. And again, I think this is technically a little too tall. So maybe I'll double click on it again and say, well, I don't know, let's try 440. It's not rocket science, and nobody's really going to go, you know, that logo is 10% too tall. I would just try to make it look accurate. You don't want it to look stretched. And you could, if you really wanted to, open it up in a graphics program and look at what the pixel sizes are. Then when I scroll down, I see sub headline copy. Double click on it. I can change it. So I'm typing in what it said, what I want it to say. I can change the size. I can change the color. I can change.
Did you want to put newsletter or magazine in the word
Whatever you
in your
want.
description? Oh, okay.
It's really whatever you want. And then I'll hit done and you'll see it'll change it. Now, one thing that I like to do, if I come back up to the top, is I'm going to add text. So I want you to watch how I add text. See this text right here? I'm going to click and drag it, and I want it to go right above my magazine. And I'm going to, again, double click on it so that I get my menu to change it. I want this to have, instead of insert here, I want it to say contact first name. So this thing on this, all the way to the right is your merge fields. They didn't write merge fields here, but that's what it is. So if I scroll down, because I don't want it to say agent name, because it would say Sarah. Well, I'm sending this to a contact. I want it to have contact first name. And I'll go ahead and hit done. So right now it doesn't look like much. I can also change if I want it to be left justified, right justified, where I want it to be. I can change this name, the font, the color, the size, bold, not bold, whatever I want it to be. I can go ahead and change it, and that's fine.
I can't get the text. So how did you clicked on the text twice?
So you click and drag to bring it over,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I did.
and then I
Okay.
double clicked on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
So you just go through the whole thing. You're gonna, if you don't like something, click on it, and you can see, again, you need really good eyesight. You'd hit the trash can, it goes away. So if I don't want these things, I'll just trash it. Bye-bye. When I go to the button, this is the button. I can't seem to double click on it and get it to work, so I have to give in and click on the pencil. And when I do that, I just want to show you a couple things here. First of all, it says link copy. I would say something that makes sense. Open magazine, preview here, whatever it is you want it to say. Then again, what are you going to link that button to? So that might also be that WeBrand link that we get. You can change the size of it. You could change the font. You can change the color of the button. You could make it square or rounded, and you can change your pixel radius on the circle there. You can change all these different things. Here's how I look at it. I have to see what changes I've made. I hit done. All right, that's fine. I don't mind that. Or I can come back and say, well, do I want to change it? Maybe I just want a square button. Okay, then I make that change. I just end up clicking a lot. You know, I've got to look at each thing and say, do I like that? And what do I want it to be? But that's how I work. I just keep doing it till I like it. Then maybe I want to have, maybe I don't want a picture here, so I could delete it. Maybe instead I want a listing block, right? This is all getting into your newsletter or your email. You can do your template with whatever you want. When you're done with it, I like to preview it. So I click on the eyeball and I can see here, computer, tablet, phone, right? I can see how this email is going to look on each one. So if I scroll down, you can see on the phone, everything is sort of squished in where it's a little bit easier on a tablet and a little bit easier on the computer. Now the hyperlinks won't work in this preview mode, right? But now I've set up a thing where I can easily send out this fantastic email with a link that they can go in and get my magazine.
So Sarah, can you just show how would I then send that to, for instance, all my leads?
Yep. All right, so again, you need to X out of the preview. Up here at the top left, it's in a different place over here. You need to name it. So I'm going to say magazine template. And I'm going to hit save and exit. So you know how when we're doing Facebook ads, I tell you, you need three things. You need to have your message, your image, and your destination, right? Same kind of thing here. When we're going to send an email, we need three things. So first is the image or the template. We just did that. The next thing we need is the list. So I'm going to show you super fast. And again, it's at 12:01, so I understand if you need to pop off, but I'm going to show you how to create the list. So first, again, if you don't remember what the applets are, click on the white KW that's in the red box. We're going to go to campaigns. It looks like a megaphone. And when we do this, we're going to click on emails at the top. So right in the middle, emails. Now, when I click on emails, I want you to see that on the right-hand side, it says configure lists. So this is down, you have your picture, that,
Okay.
you know, so configure lists. Now, lists are who you're going to send things to. So I probably would have already prepped my database, all my contacts with tags that are like newsletter or Methuen newsletter and Boxford newsletter and Andover newsletter, whatever it is, if I'm going to do different versions. So let's just say I'm going to create a list. I'm going to click the button that says create a list.
Mine is just running in circles.
Well, this is super easy. So I want you to actually watch because I'm going to show you some of the little quirky things and how to get around it so that when you do it, you're not like, oh my God. Not that I'm saying you do that.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to click on create list and I need to name the list. So again, name it something that makes sense to you. So I would say it would be like Andover newsletter. Okay, so I've named it. Now I could type people's names, but John Marin, I'm going to use you. If I typed in Marin, it's going to say no contacts. I don't know why, but for some reason, it's like first name. So if I type in John, I'm going to get all the different people I know who have the name John or Jonathan. Or you're in here more than once. So there you go. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on John Marin. I want him in there. So now you can see I have one person on my list. Now, so I'm going to get rid of now the name John. One contact is selected. If I have a tag, I'm going to come in and click on the tags button. And these are my personal tags. I'm just going to come in here and choose Boxford Farm. Now, there's no like accept button. I have to just click somewhere else. So I'm just going to click in the white part up here. And now I can see there's over 1,100 people in this Boxford Farm. If I select all, it's going to give me 100 people. So here's my recommendation, because how often are you going to be creating a list from scratch? You're going to add people to it, but you're not going to be creating it from scratch. So what I would do is scroll to the bottom and click load more. And then I'd scroll to the bottom and hit load more. So I have to do this once or twice. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like I'm doing this every day. Load more. So I did that 3 times, so I should have at least 300 people. So I'm going to go back up to the top. We're going to pretend that's my whole group. When I hit select all, you'll see, oh no, it was 4. I did it 4 times. Now I've got 401 because I added John Marin to it. So if I said that's what I wanted, I'm going to go ahead and I can hit to create it. So I'm going to hit confirm at the bottom. And you can see I now have Andover newsletter, 401 people. Well, let's say that I forgot Jen Houlihan because she just sat down. So I'm going to click here on the edit button. So let's pretend Jen and I just met. And she says, yeah, you know, I live in Andover and I'm like, great, I'm going to add you to this. Well, I'm going to click here on my pencil icon. And remember, I just told you that if I typed in Houlihan, nothing is going to come up. It's going to say, nope. So I'm going to go, all right, I don't remember if I put her in as Jen or Jennifer. So now I'm going to have to go in through, thank goodness, you're number 3. I'm going to go in and find her. Is it optimal? No, but that's why I want to show you this. It's not terrible. I mean, even if she was the last one and I have to scroll through, you're not doing this all the time. So I'm going to say confirm, and now I'll have 402 people. So I've created my template. I have created my list. So step 3 is I have to create the campaign. And the campaign, all that is you're saying, I want this template to go to this list. Boom, and I want it to go. So I click create a new campaign. This is an email campaign. Just like our social media campaigns, we need to name it.
So Sarah, if you used the tag, it wouldn't dynamically update this list if you added new people in your contact.
Not
with that.
yet. Right now, I'm just gonna say advertise listing. I wanted to run through my command email because I get 5,000 emails a month. I'm gonna say set up campaign. When I come in, first thing I need to do is check my list. So for right now, I'm gonna do the Sarah and Jennifer list because I'm really not gonna send this out to 402 people. And if I'm not sure who's on that list, I'm gonna click edit. I still can come in, and how funny that it's Jen Houlihan. It's right here. We were talking about this before. I could still come in and I could say, oh, you know what? I want Suzette on here. Now, again, is she Sue or Susan in here? There she is. Oh, look, it's your home ad. Well, we'll just pretend. Beep. Okay, so now it's 3 people who are going to get it. I can just add people that fast. So then I have to say, what is the email subject? Now, why did I have to name the campaign? Well, the campaign might be, I don't know, whatever I feel like calling it internally, whereas the subject is here is the actual email subject of what they're going to get in the email. So I might say February 2021, whatever it is you're going to call it. And then I have to select my design. So I'm going to click select the design, and I called it magazine template. Now, the reason it opens up that template is if you think of the true meaning of a template, it means this is my email template that I'm sending out every single time I do this. And I probably am only going to create the template once, but then every time I'm going to go send it out, I might have an update to it. So maybe I'm going to come in and change the word to say February, or maybe the next time I'm going to use the same template, but I might change it to say March, right? I can go in and make any changes I want. And then when I hit save and exit, it says, great. Now it's going to give me a preview on the right-hand side because we're still in the screen. So any changes you just made, that's what it's going to be. And Sue and Jen, I'm actually just going to send this, but I want you to see, I could say, oh, I'm not quite ready yet, and hit save. Or I've got to go run out and show 5 properties. I'll come back and finish this later. I'm going to hit save as draft. I could say, you know what? I don't want this to go out until next Tuesday. So I'm going to say, there you go, February 23rd, it's going to go, and I can hit schedule. Or I could just say send. Again, it's showing me a preview, and I didn't finish the bottom, so you're going to get a gray box. But I'm going to say send now. I can see it says it was sent successfully. Now, if I look at some of these, now this was back from March. Oh, you already got it. Yay. It's already there. It went to your personal one, Sue, that you share. Okay. You could see this one from March 4th. There were 215 emails opened and 2 bounced. Now, it doesn't yet tell me who it is that bounced, but that is coming. So if I click on these 3 dots and I hit preview, if I want to look at that, telling me right here, it was opened 214 times. But unique opens were 138. So it means that some of those 138 opened it more than once. There were 2 soft bounces. Okay, out of the 207 emails, 138 people opened it, but people opened it multiple times. And then if I wanted to, I could hit preview and
What's the soft bounce?
I don't know. There's something with their email. If this preview opens, I can tell you exactly what this was. This was an email I sent out to the office with upcoming events for the week. And that's how I know how many people opened the emails.
Mhm.
I don't know who
Or
yet.
who don't.
Okay.
I didn't get the email yet.
It went to your Verizon one.
Yeah, that's why.
All right. So then you can look at the last so many days. You can see I only have 4,998 emails remaining for the month. Anyway,
That's per email.
you get 5,000 a month through command mail. So if I sent that out through command mail, if I was doing more than 5,000 a month, I would have to pay for the service. I know that if you jump up to 10,000, I think it's $9.98 a month. So
John, Lori, and I each get 5,000.
you each get 5,000. That's probably going to last you a little while. It's not per year, it's per month. All right, so here's my challenge for you guys. If you have time over, look at Sue already looking annoyed. You think I don't see you?
I'm watching the birds, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sarah, can you send me and perhaps to everyone else on the Zoom here, a email with that magazine in it so we can see what it looks like when you get it?
And here's what I want you to do. I want you guys to spend, if you can, a little bit of time over this weekend. The next couple of days, however long, and just try it.
Yeah.
Just try to create something, even if it's just one page of the magazine. Or if you get all the way through and you're like, wait, now I'm hung up on how do I make the link or how do I, do an email. I just want to see what you guys can do because since we're not together and I can't walk around the room and say, okay, what's going on? What are you hung up with? It's hard. And I want to help you guys. So I want you guys to just, whenever you can, just start the process and just start jotting down notes. If you want, you can wait till you see me. If you want, you can text them to me. I do hope to spend a little bit of time with my family this weekend, but please feel free to text it to me. Look at Brian, he's like, no, you don't.
Overrated.
It is. They're teenagers. And let's figure out how to make this happen so you guys can knock this out.
Sarah, when
you
is the
send-
video gonna be available? Because I couldn't do the activity because that meant I couldn't watch.
Yeah, and I need the QR code thing again, because I just didn't even follow that.
All right, you need to have whatever URL it's going to. So whatever website it's going to, copy that website address.
I just told Joy. Sorry.
Does Joy know how to do QR codes?
No, my husband.
Hi,
I
Renato.
was talking to my office mate at the
So
end
if
of my
you do
table
a
here.
Google search for QR code generator, I like the one that's something like the QR code generator, but there's hyphens in there. So I always just do a Google search. There's some that you could do where the QR code has dinosaurs in it. I mean, you can get really fancy. Squares are fine for me. And then you're just going to paste that URL in there and it will create one. So whether you save it as a PNG, some of them want all your personal info. I don't want to give my email address out to every single weirdo website. So that's why I like the QR code generator, that one. It doesn't ask me for my info. Or you could take a screenshot of it. But, start playing with it. I could write out instructions if you want, or make a quick little video that I send you. I can send you this video of the class today. Oh, Mindy, so here's the thing. So after we stop recording, it takes sometimes up to a half an hour for Zoom to process the video. And then it can take YouTube, I don't know, sometimes it seems like it's hung at 95% for like 25, 30, 40 minutes. And in the meantime, it's not like we're all just sitting there waiting. So I would say within the next couple of hours, I can get that out. So it's on the Office app, it's on the YouTube channel. If you want it, I can email it to you.
Cool.
I could make something with the QR code as well, just so you have a quick little snippet of here's, oh, hi, baby Yoda. Little groggy over there. I can make a quick email or video to email out about how to do the QR code generator as well.
That'd be great. Thanks. All the above.
Don't you feel like he's gonna do something to us?
He's on my computer.
Does he blink?
Sarah,
Sarah,
love
question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Just thinking out loud, is there, let's say you have a listing pack